and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. I hope it finds you well out there. We've got peace in the Middle East. Well, at least for today, maybe. Donald Trump. Hey, I don't know. You know what? If this ends the whole thing for, I don't know what, because let's face it, how long is it going to last? Maybe it'll last 2-3 years. Maybe we'll go back to what it was again. Then I will say this: if that happens, even though I'm not for what he did, and I think it's going to just further exacerbate the problem of countries no longer wanting dollars. It just is. But if this thing holds, which it looks like it's gonna, then okay, right? We can, take that off the plate, right? For at least for a little bit, right? Let's take that off the plate and focus in on all the things that we really need to be worried about, right? This thing was more of a sideshow than anything else. We got Jay Powell testifying in front of Congress, reiterating, no rate cuts. So, yesterday we heard from 2 voting members that said they want to cut rates at the next meeting. Of course, they voted unanimously not to do it the last meeting. So right? If you really wanted to cut, why didn't you vote against it? Well, we all know why, right? Because it's all a dog and pony show. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And like we would expect, right, we have some selling in gold, silver as well. Not as bad, but take advantage. Take advantage of it. But again, I think this shows you how important gold has become as a safe haven, right? And how people just, okay, any signs of trouble, I'm going to run to gold. And then when the trouble's over, I'll lighten it up a little. Jump on it. It's a huge, huge opportunity. Donald Trump is now, and again, we'll see how this goes, that says that China can continue to buy oil from Iran. I guess, they were supposed to not be buying oil from Iran. But, it was one of those deals. Nobody can buy oil from Iran, wink, wink, nod, nod, right? As long as, right, buy what you need to keep the price down. Well, he now says that they can buy it from Iran. Hopefully, they will be purchasing plenty from the United States as well. It was my great honor to make this happen. So there you go, Jason. Donald Trump is saying it was a great honor to allow Iran to sell oil to the Chinese, that at the same time was saying, hey, China, buy some oil from us. And I'm like, well, I don't understand why we do that. But I guess, and again, maybe they buy certain types, right, for plastics and stuff like that. So maybe that's what it's all about. Reiterating that he was not happy with Israel because, he gave the deadline. 12 hours from now, the war's over. And then apparently Israel took that to mean, well, all right, we got 12 more hours to bomb them. So they did, right? They ramped it up. And then, of course, Iran got mad and fired some missiles, back. And, yeah, so anyway, there you go. That is the latest, at least for right now. It looks like we may be done with the Israel-Iran thing, and now he is allowing, I guess, for China to openly buy their oil from the Iranians, Jason. I guess they no longer have to, quote-unquote, be sneaky.
Well, yeah, you got a lot of preloaded emergencies ready to go for whenever you need them. My guess is the ceasefire for Iran and Israel, if this holds, is because whatever economic catastrophe is not quite there yet. They haven't passed the budget yet, so we can't get that catastrophe going until we start spending this country into oblivion further. So I heard Trump is very anxious to get that thing done quick. So, I mean, he's got his Middle East emergency loaded. Now he's got to try to get a Chinese emergency loaded, and he's got his Ukraine emergency loaded. And then he could always get Dr. Fauci or Bill Gates or somebody to throw us a pandemic or something. And, of course, when we're talking cyber attacks, he's got to get them all lined up because you never know which card you're going to play, right, Joe? But there's plenty of cards to play. They're ready. That's
plenty of cards.
A couple of years ago, there wasn't a lot of cards to play when Biden. There was not a lot of emergency cards ready. I mean, Afghanistan. He kind of met the botched exit there. And then of course the Ukraine started. They used that emergency pretty good. That was the inflation and COVID. But there not been a lot of emergencies loaded and ready to go. Now it's there, isn't it, Joe? We're ready. We're ready to cover.
Unlimited amount of emergencies. When we get back, Donald Trump's mad at somebody else. I'll tell you who it is. 800-951-0592. Patriot News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. The Dow's up almost 400 points. The S&P's up 50. The Nasdaq's up 250. The 10-year note, 430, kind of just hanging out here. Jay Powell's already said they're going to take their time, no rush to cut the rates. Crude oil, so think about this. Crude oil yesterday was like $74. It's down $3.20 right now, but it was down big again, late yesterday. 65.21. So good news on the crude oil front, especially now with the Trump announcement that China can buy all the Iranian oil it wants and not have to sneak around. And I don't know that changes anything, right? Because my guess is they were buying all they needed anyway, right?
I can connect the dots on that one. China is probably going to sell less U.S. treasuries at the same time that Iran sells them the oil. This is how China and Russia can bring Iran into the world system without them actually using dollars. That's my guess, Joe. My guess is somehow he saved dollars in this deal, which then, Iran, go ahead. You're saving the dollar and you don't even know you're doing it.
You don't even know you're doing it. Gold's down $65. Silver only down 50 cents here. Silver, $35.50. Gold, $33.03. But kind of right where we kind of would expect it to be. Platinum, up $6, $12.99. So we'll keep our eyes open here. 800-951-0592. You want to jump on some gold? Well, it's down here. $10 Liberty. You know what? We haven't really run a lot. It's been $20 gold, $20 gold, $20 gold, because it's just less. $10 Liberties today. 1 through 9 at $17.50. So that's $3,500. Pretty good. 10 or more. $1,740, essentially right near. That's $34.80 right now. 20s are $34.75. So right next to 20s here on the $10 Liberties today at 800-951-0592. So not only was Donald Trump, he was mad at Israel, he was mad at Iran, but he's more mad at Israel He wasn't done being mad, as Jay Powell said it was Humphrey Hawkins. So this is a yearly thing. He goes in and, pretends to educate the Congress on the state of the Federal Reserve, saying that the central bank is in no rush to lower interest rates. The effective tariffs, among other things, are on their ultimate levels. Powell says that, hey, listen, we don't know, because we don't know what the tariff numbers are going to be. And for the time being, we are well positioned to wait to learn more about the likely course of the economy before considering any adjustments to our policy stance. So this is in direct, conflict with what Fed Governor Waller and Vice Chair Bowden said yesterday. Expectation of that level, speaking of interest rates, and thus the related economic effects, reached a peak in April and have since declined, talking about the inflation rate. But again, iterated, the outcome is still to be determined. Donald Trump immediately goes out on Truth Social. I'll say this. Donald Trump just puts it all out there, doesn't he? Too late, Jay, and the Fed will be in Congress today in order to explain, among other things, why he is refusing to lower rates. Europe's had 10 cuts. We've had 0. Well, that's not quite true, but you get the idea. No inflation, great economy. We should be at least 2 to 3 points lower. Okay, now, if you did a quarter of a point at the meeting, Donald Trump is saying, hey, we should have 8 to 12 more cuts, right? That's 2 to 3 points. I mean, so Donald Trump's not talking about, hey, I want a quarter of a point, right? He wants something huge. We would save $800 billion per year.
Yes, it's true. It's true. It's just that the debt would go bigger.
Yeah, I don't know that really is true. I think they would probably have to cut close to 0 to save that much. But there's no doubt. He's not wrong in this. We would save hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yep.
I mean,
short term.
And maybe
short term.
I guess if he said 3 whole points, then yeah, we'd probably be right near, $800 billion. What a difference this would make. If things later change to negative, what? Increase the rate. I don't know what somehow Donald Trump was implying that we'd have negative interest rates. Kind of sounded like it.
Did I just say that a day or two ago? Did I just mention that?
I hope now this is where it gets good. So, okay, nothing new. We kind of explained this to all of you earlier, right? What are the ways that they could hide the amount of extra debt they're adding is by getting the Fed to lower the rates, and hopefully the rates would go down with it. We don't know that they would. I think, obviously, if they lowered them 3 points, yeah, they're going to go lower, right? They're going to go lower. There's no doubt if they lowered them that much. A couple of quarter points probably won't do it. They're going to need something big. But then you could get into that scenario where, oh, look, we did all this stuff and the deficit didn't go up. I'm a genius. That was the Janet Yellen school, right? The Go Big school. And you see where that has left us. But here's where it gets good. I hope Congress really works over this very dumb, hard-headed person. We will be paying for his incompetence for many years to come. The board should activate Make America Great Again. So, Donald Trump, let's see, too late, Jay. Very dumb. Now we've thrown hard-headed also into the mix, Jason.
I think this is also the reason why he had to have a ceasefire in the Middle East. If that goes to a hot war, that helps the economy, which means look, the war machine gets turning, the money spigot opens up, and the markets will look good because of the military spending. So I think he had to stop the war, because he could heat up the economy, and he'll never get his rate cuts. He actually needs it to get a little worse. He needs to show Powell some semblance of reason that Jerome Powell, if he needs to do this or feels the urge to lower rates, he has to give it a reason. That war goes on. We start shipping more missiles and bombs and planes and stuff, and that's not going to make the economy look worse. Jerome Powell knows this. So by actually stopping the hostilities, just put it on the hold, time out, that's a timeout on the football field.
Time out.
War will resemble as soon as the economy gets rate cuts, and then war can commence after it. Well, you got to remember this. Oil's down, almost $10, $9? Yeah.
Right? I mean, because let's face it, there was no chance if this thing kept going, right? Forget about it, right? The gasoline prices would go up and
cheap Iran oil. Cheap Iran oils are back on the market. Right?
Gotta have it, right? Keep it down. Listen, here's the only hope I think Trump has. So first of all, Jay Powell's term ends May of next year. Okay? So essentially, you've got a year left with this guy. The only way I see it, take tomorrow as not tomorrow, today's Tuesday, right? Take Thursday. If jobless claims would jump from the high 240s to, say, the 270s, the 280s, heaven forbid 300, that's the only way I really see hope that the Fed will lower interest rates for something other than bond market disaster, which I think is what's going to happen. Because is the economy slowed? Yes. Is it bad? No. Is inflation going below 2%? No. I think what ends up happening, and I've been saying this all year, it will be a liquidity problem in the Treasury markets that will eventually spur these guys to cut the rates unless the job market falls apart. And, Jason, I just don't see it falling apart.
I know who Trump's going to choose to replace Powell. I don't know their names. I know who it is, though. It's the two guys you mentioned that voted for rate reductions.
Well, they didn't.
No,
but they now said.
There was two guys that want to do it.
So, Fed Governor Waller and the vice chair, her name, her name just escapes me now, have come out in the last 48 hours.
Yep, of course.
Saying that they want to cut rates in July.
They put their...
And they both are voting members, so they both have voted. And I guess my whole point was, well, you had a vote in June.
That's their resume.
Didn't vote for it.
They turned in the resume for next May. Here you go, yes. Trump. I will lower them. If you just tell me you want them lowered, here's my resume. I want the job. So it's going to be one of those two. Remember those two names, Joe. I'll bet that's who he uses. It won't be Lael Brainerd, I guess, because she doesn't seem to want to lower rates.
She's too liberal. She's too late. She would have been it if Kamala Harris had won. There would be no doubt. She would be the one. Other news, and it's all tied together here. News out of Germany and Italy now. By the way, technically, I don't know if everyone knows this or not, but technically, Germany has the second largest gold holdings officially in the world behind the United States. Italy is third. And again, I say technically because everybody and their mother knows China has way more than what they're saying that they have. Then after those two, I think it's France, China, Russia are all very, very close, right, as far as gold holdings go. But news, this was out of the Financial Times today. More calls to bring the rest of Germany's gold home, and Italy now saying it's ready to bring its gold home. 800-951-0592. Gold's down 50 now, so moving back up here, 33, almost 33.20 now. Silver went down 40 cents now, so 35.65. Again, $10 liberties. Jump on it here. 1 through 9, 1750. 10 or more, 1740. At 800-951-0592. News out of Europe today, saying that both Germany and Italy now, both ends, all ends of the political spectrum, saying there are strong arguments to relocating their gold out of New York and back home. Now, Germany already did this once. Right now, about a third of Germany's reserves remain in the United States. By the way, that's over 1,000 metric tons still left. Italy, also about a third, and that's about 800 metric tons. So it's still, when you're thinking about the quantity here, that's a lot. That is a lot. You know, Germany alone, that's like almost a year's worth of central bank buying still left here in the U.S. And they're talking about the end of the dollar. They're talking about the end of what they are saying is central bank independence. They're saying that the erratic policy making, right? I'm sure they're referencing what, tariffs probably for Europe, wider geopolitical unrest, and that the president talking about forcing the U.S. central bank to lower borrowing costs came up. Of course, look at the comments today. We must address the question if storing gold abroad has become less secure and stable over the past decade or not. In other words, what they're saying is, well, they actually, you know what's so funny? It was a rhetorical question because then they answered it. The answer to this is self-evident. There is more geopolitical risk in holding the gold in the United States is more insecure. We are very concerned, and our recommendation is to bring the German and Italian gold home to ensure European central banks have unlimited control over it at any given point in time. So, Jason, I mean, when you think about what they're saying, two things. Number one, it's getting more and more crazy. Using gold as a weapon, right? We've done it, right? We've frozen Venezuela's gold. We've forced some gold. Say, well, right? Russia was smart. They didn't have any gold to be confiscated, but they froze all the Russian assets in the European banks. Italian Prime Minister who met with Trump in April, saying that leaving such a large percentage of Italy's gold reserves in America is unreliable and very dangerous to the national interest. So, again, you guys, this is just another one of the things, right? When we talk about, forget about, the whole, what was it, the 12 days of Israel, Iran, right? That's all theater. This is literally talking about we have kept this gold in America for decades because we thought it was safer there than it was with us. Because America was we were the top dog. Right? They had the best currency in the world. They had the financial markets, and it was going to be super safe. These are our quote-unquote allies, the G7s, saying, I mean, look at what the Italian Prime Minister said. Right? She just said, leaving all this gold in America is unreliable and dangerous for national interest. Jason, the writing's clear here.
I don't think Germany and Italy will be getting their gold back. Well, I just asked a question. How much money does the U.S. give Germany, and then I did Italy, average per year? This goes right back to the states. The states are supposed to have control. The governor of each state can decide what goes on in their state. But we have it backwards now, where the federal government gives money out, and then they control what the states does, or they'll cut your funding. Does Germany really want their gold back, or do they want to increase their $150 million a year they're getting from the United States? Kind of like Iran wants to get rid of its oil. You see how we're keeping that? Trump is a dollar. I mean, he's ultra, big dollar guy. Italy, by the way, it gets $144.5 million per year. So the only thing I can think of, Joe, is we'll give you your gold back, and we have to stop giving you money. And then those countries have to decide whether they want the gold or they want the yearly checks. And why do I get the feeling this is pushing a little weight? Look at how much expensive gold is. Why don't you up the amount you give us every year? Because we got inflation going on here as well, and we need more money. Right, Joe? That's where I think we're at. Gold is being used as a bargaining chip in the banking system. At least it's gotten that far. But I have a feeling Germany and Italy don't really care about their gold. In a debt money system, you don't need the gold. You need more of that currency, Joe.
Leverage. Right? Leverage could be, hey, give us a break or we're going to bring our gold back. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour on this Tuesday. Jay Powell's been testifying in front of Congress today. Donald Trump warring against the Fed chief, as now Italy and Germany are talking about repatriating their gold back. Germany's already done it once. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. But again, just listen to what they're saying. As Jason said, is this a negotiating ploy? Could be. But it's simple. Hey, we don't trust the United States like we used to. Why? Well, have you seen their debt? Have you seen what's going on? By the way, let me give you a breakdown of why Donald Trump is so desperate to try to get them to lower rates. Listen to the Congressional Budget Office and their moronic projections. They say that if the 10-year note averages 3.8% over the next 10 years, right? I mean, we're at 4.3, but we're like 4.3, 4.5, 4.6, right? We're almost a full point above that. The United States will essentially spend more than 1 in every 4 tax dollars on the interest of the U.S. national debt. And by the way, Jason, that not only would rates have to come down, there is no recessions, no depression, right? There's no economic chaos or COVID or any type of any other emergency for this to happen. And I think this is what people are seeing.
Let's get that big spending bill in there and let's start printing away, and that'll just make everything better. let's just start quantitative easing as quickly as possible, because that's what the rate reductions are going to end up doing. It clears the path for more printing. It's interesting. I got this map up. You ask a question, and it's the how much money we give each foreign nation. It's fascinating. There's actually more nations than you would believe that get no direct financial aid from America. But then some of these countries, you wonder, and it's got to all be a negotiation. The gold play that you're talking about here, does Germany really want its gold? In a debt money system, if you're in the idea behind Italy and Germany would be, well, they want a more of an honest money system. They're worried about economic crisis. Well, they've been through economic crisis. They just hold their hand open, and America gives them money. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but when we ran that FOIA request, right, Joe? The Fed said, "Oh, we did $5.5 trillion to fix the housing crisis in America and the world." They printed $29 trillion. I know that Japan got $1.3 billion, right, Joe? So that was a crisis. Banks and countries were going to die, just like Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns. So they held their hand open. Did they ask for gold? No, they just said, "Give me some more debt. Give me some more of that. Give me some more of those dollars." At some point, you think it would break and die, but I think, Joe, what we're seeing is it is breaking, it is dying, but we don't know the timeline of it. And so gold being used as a threat is great. It's good news for those that want an honest money system. But, I mean, you got the Middle East, Joe. Think about this. You got the Middle East, you got Ukraine. On this map, Ukraine gets $1.5 billion a year. So they're the biggest ones getting money from America, right? You wouldn't believe it. The Middle East, right? The Middle East has countries that want money. Guess who gets almost as much money as Ukraine? And we never hear this. Jordan, the country that's not even whispered in any of this emergency going on. We hear Syria, we hear Iraq, Iran, we even hear Saudi Arabia, but you don't hear Jordan sitting there collecting $1.2 billion a year from America. And the number two, they're getting almost as much money as Ukraine. And not one angry politician about Jordan's huge gains from America. It's a business, Joe. It's obviously a business. Most countries are in the business of dollars, in the world system. And I guess congratulations to Germany and Italy. They're negotiating strongly at the table right now. Well, what's funny is their neighbors, Portugal, Spain, Ireland, Sweden, Finland, none of these countries get any money from America. There's a bunch of them that don't. To me, those are countries that are like trying to push away from America. Those are the ones that don't want the dollars, right, Joe? Russia gets nothing. Well, they don't want dollars, right? China almost gets $1 billion from the U.S., though. We still send China $1 billion. $860 million a year. So I think China likes dollars. They say they don't, but I don't know. They sure are. They sure are taking a lot of dollars, Joe. So my guess, a lot of these are probably treasuries, Joe. And some of these other countries, I guess, they've stopped buying them, I guess, right? So I'll have to keep this map handy because I have a feeling in the next couple of years this map might change a little bit, Joe. That's where the crisis comes in.
$10 liberties, 1 through 9, $17.50. 10 or more, $17.40 at 800-951-0592. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour wrapping up this Tuesday. $10 liberties. It's been a while. Big sale here on $10 liberties. 1 through 9, $17.50. 10 or more, $17.40 at 800-951-0592. Very quickly, the Phoenix Texit meeting. We're going to do it after 4th of July. I was going to try to sneak it in before 4th of July. Just too many moving parts, too many people not going to be around. So mid-July is when we'll have our first one, and we'll see what we do from there. That may become a regular thing. There is a lot going on. Obviously, the Texit price continues to rise. Miners, listen, we're at almost 8,000 miners now. It's crazy how fast this thing is going. A lot of you out there that signed up early in May. Looks like, Jason, we're talking, hey, you'll be even in 180 days. A lot of these people are going to be even by the end of July. And in the plus, people starting to sign other people up. Obviously, we can help you do that. Take advantage of the promotions. Buy 5, get a 6 free. Buy 9, get 2 free more hash. But get involved in this space so you know how to operate in what is coming. Jason, because it's digital money. Who was it today? MasterCard. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. We're going to get a stable coin going, right? And all these financial institutions are rushing to get to the digital space. Get on the rocket ship and let's see what happens.
Let me give you a number. A lot of the people that signed up when we first put it on the air in early May, the coin price was about $1. It went to $1 real quick. Sat there for a while. Everyone got nervous. I don't know why you get nervous. It takes 1 month to get nervous. Don't get nervous. Man, have a little more patience. But then the price has gone up 35%. It's at $1.35, somewhere around there. I'm not going to give exact numbers. There's different exchanges. That means all the coins that are currently in your wallet went up 35%. For that to happen again, we only need 50 more cents. When the price of Texit coin goes to $1.85, which will happen in the coming weeks, it would say you have $3,000 sitting in your Texit account. Well, you get to add almost $1,000, more than $1,000. More than $1,000, you'll be at $4,000 when the price goes up just on the existing coins. Remember, every day you're getting more coins put in there. Joe's got the number. You guys have been calling. Joe's been signing up people for you guys to put under. I came a little slower to that. I had too many signups, but now I am signing up people to go under you because I have enough USDC now because Joe's doing invoices, but I'm doing USDC to pay my invoices, so I have enough there now. And you got so many options. I know you guys have a lot of questions and calls in Arizona. You better get to Joe's meeting, and you better ask for him to do multiple meetings because I'm telling you right now, it's going to help Joe in the end. The mountain of questions Joe's going to get, I'm taking a bunch of them here and trying to get to a lot of them, but there's a little bit to learn. You don't have to be an expert, but man, there's a lot to learn. There's a curve, and once you get it down, it's fantastic, Joe.
God bless everybody.